If you're like me, you may not be familiar with Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. That's why over the next several minutes I want to convince you about why this is one of the most artistic, if not underrated games that you're ever going to watch. The way I want to do that is by taking a look at the 2017 BAFTA Awards. For those of you who don't know, BAFTA stands for the British Academy of Film and Television Arts. They conduct an annual game awards nomination and selection process. And so what I'm going to do is read some of the categories that Hellblade was nominated for, and some of which they subsequently won. They were nominated for Best Game. They were nominated and won for Artistic Achievement. For Audio Achievement, they were nominated and won. For Best British Game, they were nominated and also won. For Game Beyond Entertainment, they were nominated and won as well. And this category means a game that has some sort of artistic merit, whether thematically or otherwise, beyond the mere gameplay. They were nominated for Best Game Innovation, they were nominated for Best Music, nominated for Best Narrative, and they were nominated and won for Best Performer, that being Melina Juergens, who is the protagonist that you see here before you. So who are they up against? Well, let me read some of the other nominees in some of these various categories. You have games like Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, Assassin's Creed Origins, Cuphead, What Remains of Edith Finch, Wolfenstein: The New Colossus, and Horizon Zero Dawn. That's a pretty decent list of games right there. So for this game to have competed against and won against so many of these other titles, I think speaks highly to its artistic merit and why I think it's going to be a worthwhile experience. The second thing I wanted to say is that when this game opened, I got a splash screen telling me that this game deals heavily with themes of mental health, depression, and psychosis. And so just sort of as a warning for those who might struggle with themes of that nature or who may need to deal with it in other ways, I thought that was worth mentioning up top. Also, I think this is a game that needs to be viewed, if not played, with headphones. That's not something I usually say because I know you're watching across a variety of platforms and devices, but some of the unique audio engineering that occurs in this game, I'm not 100% sure what that involves yet, obviously not having played it, but those who have assure me that it is an experience you do not want to miss without headphones. Apparently some of the surround sound aspects are pretty critical to the game performance. Lastly, I just want to say thank you for viewing the channel, and I hope you'll leave a like as well as a comment about how you found me, and I would be very interested to know what you think of the first chapter as we dive right in. So without further ado, welcome to Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice.
Hello. Who are you? Doesn't matter. Welcome. You're safe with me. I'll be right here, nice and close so I can speak without alerting the others. Let me tell you about Senua. Her story has already come to an end, but now it begins anew.
What's happening? It's breathing. Dead. It's breathing. It's breathing. He knows she's getting closer. He can feel her coming closer. She's getting closer. They're watching. They're watching. They're watching.
This is a journey deep into darkness.
They're watching.
There will be no more stories after this one.
What is she doing? Why is she doing this? They're watching. Why doesn't she feel her coming? She's doing this for him. She wants to rescue him. He's already dead. I can feel you coming. Quiet.
Oh, how rude of me. I never told you of the others. You hear them too, right? They've been around ever since the tragedy. Well, that's not quite true. Some are old, some are new, but they've changed. I think the darkness changed them, just like it changed her.
Can you see them? Over there. Why isn't she looking? Why aren't you looking?
He's in hell. Look. Up ahead. You see it too?
You promised you came.
Yes. It is real after all. She's finally arrived in the land of mist and fog. The place the Northmen call Hell.
Turn back. Go back. Go back. It's not safe. Turn back. Go back. Go back. It's not safe.
It's them. They're here.
Can you see them? I can see you.
Look around and you'll see them. The drowned, the sick, the slain. Here they lie, rotting in the fields and rivers of hell. But the dead don't always lie still here.
You see them?
This is not a place of rest.
You can't do this. Go back. Go back. They're going to do that to you. Can you see them? Can you see them? They're going to do that to you. They're watching. Stop. Can you feel them watching? They're watching her. They're watching her. You're so close to the darkness. Go back. Can you feel it?
What is she thinking? I can tell you. She's afraid. Wouldn't you be? You'd think she would get used to it by now after so many years. But the darkness, it just builds onto itself, growing stronger, towering over her. You might try and ignore it, turn away. But it's always there, just out of sight, where you're most vulnerable. It's like it knows that just enough light is all you need to see its suffocating power.
They can feel you.
You might think she's brave to go on this journey on her own, but it isn't bravery that drives her. Bravery only means something to those afraid of death. Senua's fear runs far, far deeper. What is she looking at? What is she leaving behind? I know what she's thinking. I hear her thoughts. It's not too late to get into the boat and go back. No one will judge her. No one will ever know. Oh, she heard us. There's no going back.
You can't do it.
Senua pushes away a world that conspired to cause so much suffering. There's nothing to go back to, and worse to look forward to. Why don't you join us? Maybe you too have a part to play in this story.
So a couple things that we know right off the bat. We know that we're in the world of Norse mythology. They mentioned that this was Helheim, which is, as one might expect, the underworld, or one of the underworlds of Norse mythology. Some of the other ones, of course, would include Midgard, which is essentially what we consider Earth, Asgard, which is where the gods reside, Jotunheim, where the frost giants come from, Niflheim, among others. So we've journeyed into Hell with this head on our belt, which was breathing at one point, but for what purpose, we do not yet know.
Clearly. Focus, Senua. Focus. Focus and you'll see. What happens if you focus?
We'll focus.
Do not forget my stories, Senua. Because your darkness comes from hell, and your fate lies there. They say the burning of a corpse will take you straight to Hela's gate, but gods and the living will follow this path. You must leave the Isles of Orkney across the eastern sea, and find a road that leads north and down through deep, dark valleys. After 9 nights of riding, you will follow a great river, and will find a bridge covered in gold. The path to Helheim goes from there, across the river of knives that flows from the dark world of Niflheim.
So they mentioned the Isles of Orkney, which are an isle chain in and around the British Isles in the north. Let's take the time to look around here.
Hunger's for it. Like a pack of wolves in a hunt. But she's not stopping. Not this time.
That's pretty incredible. So I know a lot of this will be unnerving for her as various forces try to get her to turn back.
Fog. The old fool was right. What was it he said? The river of knives across which lies the halls of hell. The place they call Helheim.
He's lost. He's lost. Where are you? I hear you. He's there, you know it.
There's no doubt about
He's
it.
lost.
The source of the darkness is in Helheim,
They're called
and the goddess Hela holds his soul there. Her dear beloved, Dillian.
Our dearly beloved. So does that mean that it was somebody with whom we were romantically involved?
What is she doing? Why is she doing this? Why doesn't she turn back? She's doing this for him. She wants to rescue him. He's already dead.
Those voices, they just don't relent, which of course is part of the
His soul still lives.
experience that she's dealing
She
with.
needs to save his soul. She wants his soul to be at peace. She needs to lay him to rest. He's already dead. She can save him. There's nothing she can do. She thinks she's going to save him. She's not going to save him. She'll never make it to Helheim. She can't let him rot.
We're going to do our best to save him. And just like they said on the ride over, I don't think that we are afraid of death for ourselves anymore. I think there's something
Reach to Helheim.
more important going on.
I forget its name. She forgets too. But she does remember that only the dead may cross it. That part wasn't so easy to forget. The old fool said there was a hidden path up to it. Let's see, shall we?
A hidden path to get up there. Perhaps over here we can climb something to get up top. That looks promising. What is this on the beach? Is this anything? It's just driftwood. Even the sound of the waves is just really realistic. We'll go up the stairs in a moment. This is a dead end here. So why don't we turn around, and I see another obelisk or shrine. Not sure what to call it. But something we can focus on and learn a bit more about our backstory.
The Northmen speak of 9 worlds. The world of men they call Midgard. Sky gods dwell in Asgard. The gods of earth, harvest, wind, and sea dwell in Vanaheim. The good elves dwell in Alfheim. The evil ones dwell in Svartalfheim. The mountain giants dwell in Jotunheim. The fire giants dwell in Muspelheim. Niflheim is the world of ice and darkness. Only the dead dwell in Helheim. And that is where you must travel.
So that confirms a lot of what we know and have already suspected about where the realms are and where we ourselves are. And I assume that we are immortal. Let's see, how do we get up here? Like so.
That's the way.
There are some incredible vistas already. And we're only on the first level. And I have to say, the boat ride here, probably one of the more memorable opening sequences that I've experienced, certainly.
Go forward. Keep going. Don't stop. You can't.
And so the voices, I wonder, they seem to be of a variety of temperances. Some of them are for us, some of them are against us, some of them seem somewhat neutral.
Just drop down. Stop going down. What's down there?
Can we use this rope?
Do you know where you are? Where are we?
Okay, I guess we'll just drop down if we can.
now.
No, this is it. The hidden path.
I think part of our journey is going to be maintaining our self-confidence, because it seems there are forces that would rather see us fail. And so we've got to be resolute in our journey.
It's going to hurt you. It's dangerous.
Don't kill me. I'm not one of them.
Don't listen.
I was just hiding. I find I live longer that way.
Don't listen.
I'll never let the bastards catch me again. Never! Wait, who are you?
It's just a memory.
Druth? Is that you?
How do you now?
Is he a ghost?
For my tales of the Northmen, they call me Druth. A liar.
He's lost.
An old fool. Truth is my truth.
It's good to see you again. You kept your vow.
Guide you in this life and the next. I will tell you my stories of hell, if I may walk with you.
Tell me your stories again, old friend. I'm listening.
The runes seal the gates to hell. Focus your inner eye, and you too will see what's hidden in plain sight.
You have to take a closer look to see.
So a couple observations there.
Now. She needs to use her eyes.
He seems to be an old departed storyteller who maybe we knew in a previous life. And also, was he animated, or was that like a recording of a real person? Because he looked like, even his eyes and his facial expression looked so realistic.
I can see one.
Hold it in your mind's eye. Find one like it to open the gate.
You'll never find her.
Oh wow. It's burned like a snapshot in our mind. What are we looking for it on here, on the gate? And if we find it, then I assume we focus on it. Perhaps it's not here. Perhaps it's on the walls somewhere. We can't go back up. That much is a certainty.
It's near. Look towards the gate, and the gate will open.
We did it. That was more luck than anything else. But we found the rune.
The gate is open. Go through the gate.
Go through it.
It's dangerous.
Follow it.
What's behind the gate?
Where will it take you?
It's not safe.
It worked!
I mean, they say it's not safe, but I assume
Spent 6 years enslaved
nothing
in
is here.
hell. But I watched the Northmen, learnt their ways.
I know you did.
You listened when everyone else laughed. My people pay the heavy price. Carry my stories with you, and together we will make the Northmen feel our fury.
So the Northmen, if I recall correctly, is what many in the British Isles called the Vikings. Or at least
Another voice joins us.
the tribes from Scandinavia.
She once tried to make them go away. Pretend they weren't real. But what good is that? When we are always here.
So I assume that means our romantic interest was killed by the Northmen through some sort of raid. And I would be surprised if we get a flashback of that before too long. So up we go. And I don't quite care for the angle at which this bridge is tilted.
I guess it's the same with heights. You can stand on the edge, pretend it's going to be okay. But you know that death is near, waiting for you to make that little slip. You can't just wish things away.
A little bit of a balancing act there. Let's learn a bit more. And something I've noticed right away is each time we look at a glyph, another one turns to white. So the first one was the glyph that looks like an S and then an M. So I'm sure it sort of will track our progress. And I also wonder if these are the various levels. So for instance, there's a white dot, 4 runes, and then another white dot. And the dots don't seem to have any rhyme or reason to how often they're spaced, so I wouldn't be surprised if that was, the level progress.
The world of the dead is ruled by the giantess, Hela, daughter of Loki. The gods feared her bloodline, bad on her mother's side and yet much worse on her father's. So, as a child, the All-Father cast her down into Helheim and gave her power over those who die of sickness, age, hardship, and self-slaughter. In all of the 9 worlds, only Hela can resurrect the dead. To Hela, your Dillion was sacrificed, and with her you must bargain.
So we know now the deity with whom we are going to be interfacing with, and it looks like my theory was correct since that rune has turned to white now. Loki, of course, with all the Marvel content now, is fairly well known, his general properties and characteristics. But something that some people may not know is that at one point he mated with various monsters, and from that was born the World Serpent, Jormungandr, I think is his name, as well as Sleipnir, the 8-legged horse that Odin rides. So Loki has an interesting romantic history which maybe has not been covered in as much modern media for understandable reasons. Okay, we're going to drop down. And I wonder what sort of sacrifice would Hela accept in exchange for a soul? Is it just by our virtue? Do we have to offer ourselves just as another sacrifice?
Stay back. Look at it. You have to open it.
The gate to Helheim divides the living from the dead. Is that the face of Hela herself? The half-rotten goddess that rules over Helheim. Whatever horrors lie behind that door, She must find him. Shh. Someone's here. Took him from me. I beg you, let him go. I'll give you what you want. I won't resist anymore. Just give him back.
Alright, hang on a second. I need to review the controls real quick for combat, since there is, in fact, no tutorial. Fast strike, left mouse button, heavy strike, right mouse button, melee attack, evade, block with left control. Okay, it may take a minute to get used to that.
She will die.
There's another one. Okay, so far so good. Ooh.
Don't let them get behind you. Don't let them.
Alright, let's see if we can move away. We've got it. We're in a bad spot here. Yeah, I see. I'm trying to move out of here.
Don't give up. Don't. You did this.
A vision of what's to come. Poor Senua. The darkness does not bargain. It does not reason. It is wrought. And now it has taken hold. It will spread towards her head, the seat of the soul, until there is nothing left of her. All of her suffering will have been for nothing. It's just a matter of time.
dark rot will grow each time you fail. If the rot reaches Senua's head, her quest is over. And all progress will be lost. So we have to ensure that we don't fail.
The hardest battles are fought in the mind. That is what Dillian taught her. With every defeat, the dark rot will grow and soon it will take her soul. But for now, at least, she still has control of her mind. And she will fulfill her vow. Whatever the cost.
He's not right.
Listen to me, Senua. The goddess Hela lies behind the gate to Helheim. To open the gate, you must first face the gods that guard it. The god of fire, Surt, and the god of illusion, Valravan. Spill their blood to open the gate to Helheim and enter the land of the dead.
To Dillian.
To his soul. It won't
So,
open.
we have to ensure that this rot
Why can't she open it? She needs to challenge the gods.
She has to fight two gods first.
doesn't make it to our head. And I have a funny feeling that there was no way for us to win that fight.
She's going to die.
Could be wrong.
Which one will she challenge first?
Be very careful, Senua.
Choose a gate, Senua.
2 gates, 2 gods. She's too scared. Which one?
I know. It's a big decision.
The Northmen say that in the beginning there was nothing but darkness. Bitter cold to the north, fiery hot to the south. They say the cold formed ice, which melted from the sparks from the south. The power of the darkness gave life to the dripping ice, and the first giant was born, and was named Ymir. The ice continued to drip, and the power of the void gave life to it, and it became a cow, whose milk fed the giant. That's right, a cow. Bet you weren't expecting that.
Interesting. So, I think this might be a good opportunity to take a quick break. We've got 2 doors to go through, 2 different gods to fight, and then once we beat them, presumably that door will open, and we'll be able to move into the next stage and get a little closer to finding Hela, and hopefully bargaining for Dillian. I think that was our interest's name, their life. So why don't we pause here. I hope you've enjoyed the game so far. I certainly have. This is quite unlike anything I've ever played so far. Just the attention to detail for the whole experience, from visuals to audio, and of course the mythology. I mean, mythology is one of my favorite topics in games, and so having it be so rich in Norse mythology, I think, is incredibly appealing to me, and I hope it is for you as well. So please, as I said before, leave a comment. Let me know what you're thinking so far about the game. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and of course subscribe for more Senua coming to you. I suppose more accurately, Hellblade coming at you very soon in the future. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.